Jensen, what was your experience?
Pretty much the same.
Well said, Jensen.
Yeah. Well, like Eric said, they had originally brought me in for the role of Sam, and I knew David Nutter very well. I'd worked on testing for a number of pilots before that, so I felt very comfortable with him and with his recommendation of me coming in, and he felt good about it. And I had a conversation with him on the phone before I came in, and he kind of gave me a spiel about Sam and what he thought, and then I read the script, and I was just like, what about Dean? I like Dean. He's funny. But I studied for Sam, and I went in there, and I actually kind of studied for Dean a little bit too, just in case. And I went in there and I read for Sam, and like Eric said it, and they were like, they were pleased with it. And then went home that evening and got a phone call, and they said, well, there's this guy, Jared Pada something.
That's a
Pada something. Yeah. And they really are liking him for one of the brothers. And I'm like, okay, so of course I'd look him up online, and I'm like,
you thought I was hot.
This guy's smoking hot. I can't play his brother. And no, and then they said, but they'd like to bring you back in for Dean, and I of course was very excited about it, and I came back in and was thrilled. So that's kind of how it all.
So by the time you guys actually performed together, you had already had the parts. They weren't auditioning.
Well, no, we didn't have it. Did we? Officially.
No, we had to do they were the only actors we brought in a network, because you have to have a network
formality
audition.
of the
It's
network.
usually a really terrifying process of
Yeah.
these guys and gals that you audition with all year long, and it's 5 people that you're very, very afraid of sitting in the room with you going for the same part. And when we got there, it was like, hey, where's everybody? There is nobody.
Just you and me, pal.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so we started typing numbers down on a page, and
Yeah, well, we went in, and that was the first time we actually met, and then we did the scene together for a room full of executives, and that was that.
Okay.
And we've hated each other ever since.
yeah, I poisoned your waters. Yeah, it was like,
Love him.
who is Kim? Who is this guy? Oh, I knew him from this. Who is Kim Manners? You'll love Kim Manners. And sure enough, we were like, what? And he came on, and he was just incredible. And can I borrow?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and so we basically.
And there are a lot of, I spent a long time on the X-Files, and am offered a lot of scary television shows every year. It's like, will you do this? Yeah. And this one just struck me right away, especially when I finally saw the cut of the pilot, because it had those two things that I think you need to have a successful show like this. One is a great franchise, which is the engine that runs the show. The idea that the two brothers on the road trip with a very personal agenda is just great, and you can imagine, I can see instantly 5 years of suffering for these guys in episode after episode. And the second thing, honestly, is casting and chemistry. And chemistry is something you can't manufacture. And these guys have it, and they're so great to write for, and they're so fun to write for.
Worth a try.
Yeah. So I said, yeah, I'm coming on.
Okay.
They had actually made this pilot, and I saw the pilot and really liked it a lot. And I think what the studio wanted was, after they saw it and it got picked up, and the studio at one point probably said to themselves,
Just keep it. You can't get anything done. Throw it on there.
this is what it's like to direct them, too. The studio said, well, we can't give $40+ million to Eric Kripke.
Yeah. Very true.
And let him run wild. So they said, what we need is, some... This is so hard.
People are very tired.
So they thought they needed some, you know, an experienced hand to guide the young man through these rocky waters. The young man, of course, felt.
Do you know where this story ends?
I do actually. Yeah.
Does anyone else on this panel know where the story ends?
Yeah, but
You
if we
do.
tell you, we have to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard because you never know when you're going to get canceled or if you're going to go, you know, 37 years like Gunsmoke or something.
Oh, God, please.
But, yeah.
The boys are in walkers.
Sam? Yeah. Right. They'll finish up the season and then they'll slowly die.
Yeah.
And so, but yes, we have.